So before I start my actual story, I just need to tell you all really quickly about a really dumb thing I did one time in college. It can be summed up in a couple sentences. I am, self-described, probably the dumbest smart person you will ever meet. Great student, great businesswoman, I do stupid shit all the time. And when I was in college, I'd walked out of class, outside the building. I really love animals. If I see any animal, I want to pet it. If there is a dog, I'm going to get on the ground and try to give it a kiss. And I saw a very nice German Shepherd in a police car with the window partially down.
Oh no.
What do I do? Puppy! It didn't go well. Okay, anyway, now to my actual story. So, my parents were always really open with me about the fact that they had never actually wanted kids. Most kids grew up hearing about waiting and wishing and a visit from the stork, and my brother was a broken condom, and I was faulty contraceptive foam. When my mom told my dad that she was pregnant with me, he sighed really heavily a lot and said, well, I mean, okay, so long as it's a girl. Thank God that worked out. When my mom went into labor, he said, no, not today, I'm working. Everyone has a birth story, and mine pretty much reads, complete shit show that was never supposed to happen in the first place, but whatever, she's okay, we guess. One day when I was feeling especially low about this, my mom said, well, honey, you weren't a mistake, you were a surprise. Like, fuck, I hate surprises. Who here has seen the movie Idiocracy? If you haven't, you should. Okay, so my husband and I are very much like the smart couple at the beginning, but we're actually worse. We delayed having children for financial stability, couples therapy, home remodeling, self-actualization, travel, the purchase of his dream car, and then I was 35. If you have a uterus, you know that 35 is pretty much your expiration date. The official medical term is advanced maternal age. And doctors will actually refer to your lady parts as geriatric. Rapidly approaching 36, with a husband who'd had a vasectomy in his 20s, I was determined to not just push a baby out my geriatric vagina, but I was going to do it perfectly, and I was going to plan that shit. We chose a sperm donor who was a concert violinist with a PhD in physics who spoke 7 languages. I spent more money than I care to think about on enzyme CoQ10 to raise my egg quality, pomegranate juice to increase the blood flow to my geriatric uterus, fish oils that I don't really know what they did, but apparently I needed them, food-based prenatal vitamins touted as farm-to-tablet that contained folate, not folic acid. For the love of God, folate is for poor people. I gave up alcohol. I gave up coffee. I used natural deodorant, and I assure you that shit does not work. I gave up sugar. I ate so much kale. I took medication to make my geriatric ovaries produce more eggs. I gave myself a monthly injection to make the eggs release. I laid on an operating table while this genius sperm was placed inside me with the world's longest, narrowest syringe. It's a syringe. I know you all thought it was a turkey baster. It's a syringe. I followed a daily meditation program that discussed images of fertile soil being warmed by the sun and germination, of all the good I had ever done in life coming back to me. I was advised to dial it back on my workouts, but also to remain free from stress. Stress scares the stork away. Working out is how I de-stress. I was prescribed light cardio and stretching. Assisted reproduction is a subculture with a heavy dose of what I can only describe as reproductive prosperity gospel. Put up that next chunk of your savings account. Take out that next loan. Remortgage your house. Sell everything you own. And maybe this cycle will be the one where you are so blessed. They call sex baby dancing. Someone will try to sell you essential oils. It didn't work. Every month, I'd think I'd reached my breaking point, and then I'd find out it could actually get worse. After 5 cycles, back to back, it was recommended that we move on to in vitro fertilization. I was so tired of feeling like a walking science experiment and nothing more than a defective reproductive system. And honestly, in vitro costs $29,000, and at my age, there is a 40% chance of it resulting in a live birth. I know a sucker's bet when I see one. We started to talk about adoption. I returned to black coffee in the mornings and red wine in the evenings. I ate pizza again. I went back to my preferred work schedule of 60 to 80 hours a week on my feet. I skated a marathon. I was a human being again. We met with the adoption agency, and every preconceived notion I'd had about adoption was wrong. I was afraid they wouldn't want us because I was on antidepressants. The social worker laughed and said, "Yeah, you and most of our clients." I was afraid they only wanted white couples. They actually really needed some more non-white ones. I'd heard adoption agencies only wanted straight people. I've had relationships with women. Well, our head social worker in our case is a lesbian with adopted children. I was afraid we just weren't normal enough. But they found this pair of tattoo-covered aging goths charming and said so. If the stress level of assisted reproduction was undersold to me, the stress level of adopting has been oversold. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of paperwork, and the background check takes several months, and they really do want to see everything right down to the vet records on my 16-year-old cat. The vet actually has to sign a form saying my 16-year-old cat is not vicious. You know. The first woman who saw our family profile wanted to meet with us. She was really smart and well-spoken and had that kind of in-your-face southern sweetness that makes no sense to me whatsoever. She was a single mother to 1 child already. She just wasn't equipped to handle another and thought this was the chance to be a blessing to another family. She found my bohemian upbringing, our complete lack of religion, and our zillion cats to be absolutely perfect. The baby's due August 1st. I'm a little stressed out right now trying to get everything together because I am, at heart still, a type A perfectionist who wants to plan everything, but there have been a few lessons here. Sure, my mom and dad never planned me, but I'm like 75% sure they like me. Trying to plan a pregnancy was, no exaggeration, the worst thing I have ever experienced, and in retrospect, the stupidest, most elitist, most stuck up my own ass, most self-important thing I have ever done. And last, what was a potentially disastrous pregnancy for someone else is going to be all I ever really wanted.